Welcome to another Church History podcast brought to you from Westminster Presbyterian Theological Seminary. Almost certainly the greatest figure in terms of significance and influence in the Christian church between Augustine and the Reformation was Thomas Aquinas. He was born around the year 1225 in Roccaseca in Italy, and combining the theological principles of faith with the philosophical principles of reason, he ranks amongst the most influential thinkers of medieval scholasticism and probably, certainly, the most significant. As I said, born around the year 1225, he dies in the year 1274. He had 8 siblings. He was the youngest. His parents were from the lower nobility. We are told that before he was born, a holy hermit shared a prediction with his mother, foretelling her that her son would enter the order of friars, preachers, become a great learner, and achieve unequal sanctity. At the age of 5, Thomas was sent to the Abbey of Monte Cassino to train among the Benedictine monks. He was described as a witty child who had received a good soul. And it seems that repeatedly this young lad posed the same question again and again and again to the monks: what is God? He remained at the monastery till he was 13. He spent the next 5 years completing his primary education at a Benedictine house in Naples. During these years, he studied the works of Aristotle, which would later become a major launching pad for Thomas Aquinas' own exploration of philosophy. Around the year 1239, he began attending the University of Naples, and in 1243 he secretly joined an order of Dominican monks, receiving the habit in 1244. When his parents, his family, found out, they were greatly agitated and annoyed, even to the point of kidnapping Thomas and holding him captive for almost an entire year in the fortress of San Giovanni at Roccaseca. And they tried to deprogram Thomas from his new convictions, but he held fast to his ideas, and in 1245 he went back to the Dominican order. From 1245 to 1252, Thomas continued to pursue his studies with the Dominicans in Naples, Paris and Cologne. He was ordained in 1250 in Cologne and went on to teach theology at the University of Paris under the tutelage of Albertus Magnus, Albert the Great. Thomas proved an exemplary scholar. Sometimes his modesty led his classmates to think of him as dim-witted. But after reading Thomas's doctoral thesis, Albert the Great proclaimed to his students, "We call this young man a dumb ox, but his bellowing in doctrine will one day resound throughout the world." At the forefront of medieval thought in these days was a struggle to reconcile the relationship between theology, we might say faith, and philosophy, reason. People were at odds as to how to unite the knowledge they obtained in revelation with the information they observed naturally using their mind and their senses. Much thinking was based on Averroes' theory of the double truth. There are 2 types of knowledge that are in direct opposition to each other, and we have to choose the one or the other. Well, Thomas rejected Averroes' theory, asserting both kinds of knowledge ultimately come from God, and therefore, because they are from God, they are compatible. Not only are they compatible, they could also work in collaboration. Thomas believed that revelation could guide reason and prevent it from making mistakes, while reason could clarify and demystify faith. Thomas's work goes on to discuss faith and reason's role in both perceiving and proving the existence of God. And to many, mainly, I would think, laymen and laywomen, Thomas Aquinas is probably best known for his 5 proofs for the existence of God. Number 1, observing movement in the world as proof of God, the immovable mover. 2, observing cause and effect and identifying God as the cause of everything. 3, concluding that the impermanent nature of beings proves the existence of a necessary being, God, who originates only from within himself. 4, noticing varying levels of human perfection and determining that a supreme, perfect being must therefore exist. And 5, knowing that natural beings could not have intelligence without it being granted to them by God. Subsequent to defending people's ability to naturally perceive proof of God, Thomas also tackled the challenge of protecting God's image as an all-powerful being. What Aquinas really doesn't understand is that sin has infected our minds as well as our hearts. Our whole being is infected by sin. Everything about men and women is corrupt. We don't think straight. Reason does not have any capacity to inform revelation. Revelation, the infallible revelation of God, must influence, impact, shape, style all that we know about God. Aquinas was a prolific writer, penned close to 60 known works ranging in length from short treatises to vast works of theology and philosophy. While teaching at Cologne in the early 1250s, Thomas wrote a lengthy commentary on scholastic theologian Peter Lombard's 4 books of sentences. During this period, he also wrote on the being and essence of God, mainly for Dominican monks in Paris. His great work, the Summa Theologia, is largely philosophical in nature and was followed by Summa Contra Gentiles, which, while still philosophical, comes across to many critics as an apologetic of the beliefs he expressed in his earlier works. The influence of Thomas's writings has been vast throughout the century. He is still the foremost theologian, philosopher at the heart of Roman Catholic understanding about faith and reason. It's estimated that at least 6,000 commentaries on his work exist to this date. During the feast of St. Nicholas in 1273, shortly before he died, Thomas had a mystical vision, so he says, that made writing seem unimportant to him. He reputedly heard a voice coming from a crucifix that said, "Thou hast written well of me. What reward wilt thou have?" To which Thomas replies, "None other than thyself, Lord." From this time on until he dies, Thomas effectively gave up writing. He wrote, "I can do no more. Such secrets have been revealed to me that all I have written now appears to be of little value." Thomas dies 7th of March 1274. He's canonised by Pope John the 22nd in 1323. Let me conclude by just reading a brief passage from the Summa, which perhaps will surprise you. He writes, reflecting on 2 Corinthians 10:5, bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. Aquinas writes, "Hence sacred doctrine makes use also of the authority of philosophers in those questions in which they were able to know the truth by natural reason, as Paul quotes a saying of Aratus, as some also of your own poets have said, we are also his offspring," Acts 17:28. Nevertheless, sacred doctrine makes use of these authorities as extrinsic and probable arguments, but properly uses the authority of the canonical scriptures as an incontrovertible proof, and the authority of the doctors of the Church as one that may properly be used, yet merely as probable. For our faith rests upon the revelation made to the apostles and prophets, who wrote the canonical books, and not on the revelations, if any such there are, made to other doctors. Only those books of Scripture which are called canonical have I learned to hold in such honour as to believe their authors have not erred in any way in writing them. But other authors I so read as not to deem anything in their works to be true, merely on account of their having so thought and written, whatever may have been their holiness and learning. I would guess that statement would be one that John Calvin would heartily and wholly endorse.